Hello, all you hardcores out there. How are you doing? Today I'm joined by Kent and my dog Rocky, who's at Skinhead. How you doing, Kent?
How you doing, Russell? How are you?
All right, mate. I'm all right, plodding on. Well, an exciting weekend of boxing, Kent. What did you think?
Well, 2 weeks ago, we had the complete opposite of what we had on Saturday night. 2 weeks ago, we had an absolute robbery with Jack Catterall, and this week we had a fantastic fight in Michael Conlon and Lee Wood. So two completely different ends of the spectrum. 2 weeks ago, we seen a great fight, but we seen a robbery, and all we spoke about was really incompetent refereeing from the board. And this week it's good that we've seen an absolutely brilliant fight and nobody was hurt on it, which with the end and how it ended, that's great. It was just an absolutely fantastic fight, Russell.
Yeah, I thought it was. Well, what did you think to Conlon's performance?
I think Conlon's performance, Russell, was better than I'd seen, and I'll tell you why. And what they were doing for a couple of years with Michael is he's been built really well in Belfast. He has that big following in Belfast. He fights in the Fela Festival once a year, and that's 10,000, 12,000 outside. So he's got a brilliant following, and his career has been going well. He's been matched pretty well, but they took him down to super bantamweight, and I didn't agree with it. I didn't think it was a great move going down to. They were looking at Stephen Fulton down at super bantamweight, and I just think he wasn't carrying much power at featherweight at the time, and they brought him down to super bantam at 28 at that age. It's not really for me bringing an older fighter at the lower weight classes down a weight again. I don't think that was a right move. So his performance in Saturday night was spectacular. He looked.
Didn't they fight at featherweight though, him and Wood?
Yeah, they fought at featherweight. His last fight, Russell, was at featherweight, but there was two fights below that were at super bantamweight. They were going down the WBO route for Stephen Fulton, but they fought TJ Doheny at Fela for a WBA regular. Now, a WBA regular at that time got you number one contender slot, but it was a fantastic performance. It just showcased, you've seen, Russell, we talk about levels and pedigree and fighters coming through an amateur career. Michael was a world amateur champion. He was a bronze medalist. He should have been an Olympic champion that year. Multiple multi-nations champion, Irish champion. His dad is one of the top coaches in the world, amateur coaches in the world, John Conlon. So he's got that pedigree. Jamie, his brother, was a fantastic wee fighter as well. It was a fantastic performance, Russell. What he made Lee Wood look like a novice at times, like a complete novice.
Do you feel, Kent, that Michael Conlon should have had a few more sterner tests before going in with somebody as seasoned as Lee Wood at a higher weight?
Russell, to be honest with you, yes. I thought that at the time they were looking to bring him down, they were looking to Stephen Fulton fight at super bantam, and he was a more switchy, very tricky fighter. And they brought in TJ Doheny to fight, and I'm thinking that's not really a style to fight Fulton. Going in for that fight, but as you say, Russell, going into that fight with Lee Wood, you look at Lee Wood's record. He's been beat. He has fought for Commonwealth. He's fought for British titles. He's had a lot of championship experience. I'm talking championship experience 10 rounds on. And in big fights like that is absolutely massive. but he's got a big back end. You know, at the time, remember he turned pro. He turned pro with Top Rank. He was based in America for a while with Manny Robles, and it wasn't working out. You know, a young family, and when you're over there, it's a lot of your purse. You know, you're having to fork out in expenses and things. So it didn't work over there. He's come over and he's been working with Adam Booth. Go to Adam Booth.
Go to Adam.
He's the best.
Oh, he's the best. Ken, what you nicking liners for?
I'm sorry, I had nothing. I couldn't create anything, so I just stole yours. Yeah, he's been with Adam Booth, and he's looked really seasoned. And I think, Russell, when you have that pedigree of amateur pedigree, you don't need 20 fights, 15 fights. You know, you should be fighting at championship level within 5 fights onwards, because you're just fighting guys that wouldn't have been good enough to fight you in the amateurs. So you probably see fighters that their skills regress from the amateurs. So yeah, I think you're right. I think he should have had more tests, like maybe a Doheny. You know, there was possibility of an Isaac Dogbo fight. I would have liked to seen that before, but Lee's experience really, you could even see it, Russell. You could see how Michael come out really hard for 4 rounds. It was that amateur pace, very, very hard pace. Then he done it for another 4 rounds, and you could see the pace was starting to, that power gauge, you know, at the side, you could see that slightly leaking energy, but very, very seasoned. Yeah. You could see that Wood was kind of pacing. You know, when he got dropped heavily, I don't know how he got up from that knockdown. You know, it reminded me a wee bit of Frotch and Groves. You know, how
it reminded me of how the fight went. It reminded me of Meldrick Taylor against Chavez.
Yeah, it did. It was a carbon copy of that fight.
I mean, Conlan's this star Olympian and all that, but yeah, other star Olympians. I mean, Joe Joyce has got a move on with his career, and Lomachenko. But to say Conlan made a lot of noise about being robbed in Olympics, he's not made up for it in pros. His career's stagnating, hasn't it? We easy pickings for promoters. That's what I think. I think the people who've handled Conlan, they need to have a long, hard look at themselves and say, you know what? It's 6 years since Olympics. Is this all we can show for it? A challenge against a regular WBA belt? I think he's been handled wrong, mate, from day one.
Yeah, you're right. You know, the Diego Rodriguez fight was a really good performance. I think if he would have had that fight, maybe 5 fights before that, a real good, tough South American opponent.
Ago, he should have been putting foot on gas.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, and
2018-19, he should have been putting his foot down. I want a world title fight. We're middle of 2022 here in March, and we're talking about Conlan. Oh, he's been knocked out, and that he might not be the same fighter again. But in my opinion, he's been handled totally wrong, and they all need to look at themselves. Adam Booth and whoever's handling Conlan. Is he MTK Conlan?
No, it's. He's with Conlan. They've set up kind of their own thing. They've went down on their own thing.
Then they need to look at themselves and bow their heads and say, we got it wrong. We're 6 years from Rio.
I agree with you, Russell. You know, you look at the smaller weight classes. You know, metabolism slows down. It's harder to get weight off. You train with a lot more volume. You know, you go through a lot more muscle wastage. So smaller fighters at the lower weight classes age. You know, when you look at Michael's had a massive amateur career, and it's a lot of wear and tear. And I agree with you. And I think what happens with Irish fighters, Russell, is what they see is Boston, St. Patrick's Day, and they try and keep that for every year. They don't want to. They want to milk that for maybe as long as they can, and maybe get a fight at the end of their career where they're probably earning more money on that St. Patrick's weekend than they are for a world title fight. So I agree with you, and I could say that for any any Olympic gold medalist, you really should be going for a world title within 10 fights minimum.
Listen, 10, 15 fights. They've got to, these Olympians are more advanced than Joe Bloggs. Fraser Clark just fought a guy out at crowd. He's a bronze medal.
My word.
Be going in with some. He should be in a British title eliminator in his first fight. Come on.
Yeah.
And 31 in August. What are we going to do? Have him hanging around like he's Joe Joyce when he's 36, 37, wanting a world title fight when he's so spent?
Yeah, I agree with you. And, you look at the skills that Michael has. He's world-class skills. So he made Lee Wood look like a novice at times. And
yeah, he did, yeah. Correct.
He did, and he should have had that more championship experience. Like 2 fights ago, down at super bantamweight, he was fighting Bellotta and all that there. That's not world level guys. Jamie's good enough, Michael was good enough 2 years ago to fight for a world title. So it's probably just to say building and getting that Irish thing and building up that, and it's brings in a lot of attention, a lot of money in America. But you're right, Fraser Clark, Russell, the first year, like he should be challenging within a British title within 5 fights.
Yeah. Not good though, are they? Wanting to milk it.
We spoke about this before. I don't know if it was Rico spoke about this, and there has to be a way that if you're an Olympian, you win a medal in the Olympics from bronze to gold, you should be progressed. There should be an amount of fights that you're not allowed to be fighting journeyman level opposition after 5 fights, because it's bad for the sport. It's dangerous for the opposition. These guys coming in from the Olympics are light years ahead in ability, technique, fitness, training age. It's not good for the fans, and it's not safe either. So there should be a thing is after 5 fights, you should be fighting for a title minimum.
Yeah, you should, and it's a shame. What did you think to Lee Wood's performance? I'm not talking about his perm. I'm talking about his actual performance, because he looked like he was on Skid Row after the first round, didn't he?
Russell, it goes back to this. He was with what I noticed. I watched the fight 3 times, and what I noticed is it reminded me of times the faults that he was making technically. It reminded me of times of Kid Galahad's last fight, and I'll explain to you why. I noticed that Lee Wood was loading up, Conlon was throwing a backhand to the body quite a lot, feinting to the body. And what happens is, with that years of Engel Gym, they do a lot of body sparring. So you see the hand subconsciously come down to protect the body, and the head straightens up. And that's what happened with Galahad. Galahad was protecting the body, anticipating the body shot, and Martinez seen the gap and threw over that shot and put him in the orbit. That's what Lee Wood was doing. And you look at the last fight against Kanzu, Russell, did you not notice he was it's more a fencing style, a lot of long fencing and reaching out. That's what a lot of Ben Davison's fighters do. And whenever he was getting caught with everything, he seemed to revert back to that low guard kind of chest level. Chin was way up. I thought he just went back to what he knew previously, Russell.
He ended the show in style, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And you look at the posture and how technically how he was against Kanzu or Zukan or whatever he's called. He's more measured. He was measuring his shots. He was picking his shots. He was getting room to set up phases. He kept his shape very, very well. With Conlon, Conlon was doing things to him that he's probably never seen or been with before. So he reverted back, and it kind of looked more like an Engel style, that he was doing with Dominic. But he showed a lot of character. I don't know how he recovered from that first round, Russell.
No, I don't. Rocky's not been the same with me, since I picked him up from vets. Drove back from vets. He sat with his back to me facing mirror. I put that catch thing on the seat, sat facing mirror. Showed me his teeth then. That's twice he's done that since he come back.
You deserted him, Russell.
Yeah, put him to sleep, didn't they? Shaved him and then stung me with a bill. They're not shy in there, but we're not saying married Rocky. Not. We're not saying married couple, are we?
Just give him a penguin, Russell. He'll come around after his favourite bar of chocolate.
Went like that. We're not speaking, mate. All right. Getting back to Lee Wood. Listen, he couldn't drag any more out of his body to pull that off, could he? And I think maybe that's him done now. And if you have a rematch, I'll have my money on Conlon.
It was a massive. It was a war of attrition, really. I don't think I've seen a fight with the velocity and intensity from round one.
It was gassy, wasn't it?
It was a brilliant fight. It was just absolutely, the volume. I didn't actually get the stats of volume of punches in the fight, but the skill level of the fight was very, very good. You always talk about slugfest and this and that, and I don't like saying that because, you go back and you look at, it's probably the best featherweight fight I've seen since Barrera and Morales won. It had that same intensity. The skill level with that intensity was fantastic, and it was a tough fight. It was it was an aging fight for both fighters, without a doubt. That was a really, really tough fight. He had a bad round 4 as well, and round, what was it, 9? He had a really bad round 9, and Michael just hit him with everything. But you could see that you could see he wasn't reacting to those shots in the way he was reacting at the start, and it was just championship. He had more championship experience, Russell.
Yeah, it was. Okay. Ben Davidson, seen him leaning through ropes during the fight. I saw that Barry the Bacon, the guy who was with him, stood up like that on edge at ring apron. I don't think you're allowed to do that, are you?
Well, I actually got a message from a friend of mine. He texted me and he was like, "What the F is Ben Davidson doing? He's hanging out there through the ropes." And he was hanging, he was sexy, like reclining on the ropes.
About it, did he?
No, you're not allowed to do that. And Barry was right up, actually ahead of, there's a steward in the corner, in both camps. And I actually think he was in front of the steward as well, which you're not allowed to do. So, I seen Barry on today talking about, I've never heard a bigger load of nonsense in all my life. He's like a mini me. It's like, I don't know if Ben Davidson's a mini me of Barry, or I don't know if Barry's a mini me of Ben, because he's got the slick, he's got the Brill cream.
Well, Barry's been around boxing a lot longer than Ben Davison, and he's never really progressed, has he? So he's having his moment in the sun. But my argument at the moment is this, because I'm very harsh on a lot of these, because a lot of them are shithouses, let me tell you. Utter shithouses. They don't give two fucks for fighters. They care for getting paid and getting the fucking heads on TV. This is how I look at it. I'm seeing more number 2s now on TV than the fucking trainers, and I'm seeing more of the trainers than the fucking fighter. Every time I turn my TV on, there's Nigel Travis there or Jamie Moore. Fuck off.
Don't want to see it. Don't want to see it.
Fuck off, I say. Now I'm turning the TV on. There's Barry Smith or Ben Davison. Fuck off. Let me see.
Don't want to see it.
Let me see Cattrall. Let me see the Ben Lee Wood. I don't want to see all these other cunts. I don't want to see it. It's not about them. It's about the fighter. We don't see Peter Fury's number 2 in every fucking interview, do we?
No.
We don't see. No. We don't see anybody else's. I don't even know Joe Gallagher's number 2. Is it Crawler?
Well, Joe's got Joe's mentoring Scott Quigg. He's working out his fighters.
Scott Quigg fucking bouncing out doing interviews every 2 minutes. Not that he's into all that anyway, but so why would
Anthony Crawler as well.
Harry fucking Smith doing press conference saying Ben Davison should be knighted and they don't know why everybody's giving him an hard time?
Nonsense.
Listen here, you fucking bacon, Barry the Bacon. I'll tell you why Ben Davison gets a lot of fucking stick. Because he's coming out saying he's the best and he's lobbying himself with committees and that to be Ring Magazine trainer at year and whispering it right people's ear holes and stuck up their arseholes. That's why we don't fucking like Ben Davison. Ben Davison, you prick. Stick to fucking training and get your fucking mug off TV. Because so far you've done fuck all. You have a fighter's under you on a fucking plate. Get a grip of yourself. Lee Wood won that fight on his own, not with your fucking help. It looked like he didn't know what to do after round 6.
Yeah.
Championship round. What the fuck is that? And that other cunt, Barry the fucking Bacon, what's he? He's only carrying fucking spit bucket. He's now getting his fucking mug on TV at pressers. I don't want to see any of these cunts at pressers. I want to hear from the fucking fighter. That's what I want to hear as a boxing fan. From the fucking fighter. I don't want all these other cunts on TV. The fuck off. All ears. Let's see the fighters and fuck off the trainers. And especially the number 2s. Fuck off. That's what I say. Let's get rid of it.
I agree with you, Russell. You know, he went on there and said, like, I've never seen a bigger load of nonsense. He said there that, you know, he should be knighted for what he's done to boxing. He's been in boxing 5 minutes.
Him, the stupid fat bastard. Every time I see him, he's eating a fucking bacon butty. Hence the name Barry the Bacon.
There's a lot of great coaches out there in the UK. You know, there's a lot of coaches out there. Like look at Joe. Joe's come through as an amateur coach, right through as an amateur coach, brought kids around the country, developed them at area, national level, international level, turned them into championship pros, worked his way up as a junior coach, right the whole way through. You know, many amateur kids has Ben Davison brought through from scratch to a professional title.
He's put his tongue up Kinahan's arsehole. Listen, nobody dares say, I don't give 2 fucks about Kinahan or MTK. They don't pay my fucking bills here. I don't give 2 fucks about them. And I'm sick of cunts emailing me saying, what do you think about Daniel Kinahan's fucking interview being pulled off James English? Well, if James English had any bollocks, he'd have just done the interview and just put it out there. Instead of trying to fucking premiere it to test the water with powers that fucking be. So they pulled it, didn't they? Just put the cunt out there, James. Don't be a fucking arse kiss. Fucking. You don't mean fuck all to me, them cunts. They don't get through my fucking back door. But let me tell you this, mate. All they are arse-licking cunts. It's a fucking cult. They don't mean fuck all to me. Boxing means more to me than anything. They don't mean fuck all to me, these arse-licking cunts. They've not done the trade. That Barry's been around fucking boxing years. He never done fuck all. Yeah. From what I know, everybody thinks he's just a fucking div. Just a fat div who carries a spit bucket. Just a div. I don't want to see him on TV, stupid fat cunt. I don't want to see that. And I don't want to see that stupid Ben talking about strategies and game plans and all that shit. His fighter were getting flogged. He pulled it out on sheer will. And I don't want to see them cunts celebrating like that when a fucking man's down it, ring. The fucking went down in my estimation, and so did Eddie Hearn as well. Shithousers! Shithousers!
To be honest, Russell, the person that came out the best on the night was actually Lee Wood. You know, he won an absolute battle. I'm sure the emotion that he was going through.
We'll fuck him off now, then. We'll fuck him off if he's got any sense.
The adrenaline. And when he got that knockdown, Barry and Ben was in on top of him. And he got them off and he calmed the situation down because he knew any trainer with any dignity at all would have seen the punch that Michael took and the way he fell out of the ring. You know, it was so disrespectful. And Lee right away silenced the crowd, he actually got in control of his corner. And to be honest with you, they weren't actually celebrating Lee Wood's victory. They were actually celebrating the fact that they weren't going to have losses as coaches. Coaches don't have wins.
That's all they were
don't have
thinking
losses.
about, the fucking win. They didn't give a fuck about Michael Conlon.
Yeah.
They were thinking about the win and saving face, because let me tell you this. Ben Davison got out of jail with Josh Taylor Cattrall. He got out of jail with them judges. And Lee Wood got him out of jail other fucking night, let me tell you this. He's been found out as a coach. Everybody knows. He's been found out. Boxer size boy, you've been found out, you fucking shit house.
You know, even the Lee McGregor, you know, the owner put a thing out the other day there about Ben Davison in the corner of they had Lee McGregor 11-0. He's actually 11-0-1.
Lee McGregor, let me tell you this, had a fucking gift in his last fight, mate. He got beat. He had a gift. They've had gifts, mate, because of who they're connected to. They don't mean the great fucking trainers. Listen, give me a fucking pair of pads. I'll be a fucking trainer. All you've got to do is kiss some cunt's arsehole and be around the right people. Listen, there's great trainers up and down this fucking country, mate, that don't kiss arseholes. Great trainers, let me tell you.
You know, Barry said, I'm not going to give away what we're doing. It's the coaching.
I'm going to give away what you're doing. You carry a spit bucket, you fat cunt, Barry. The fuck
and I'm
out
thinking,
of here, you mess.
You know, I always say a great coach, you know, isn't about training a guy to win a title or, you know, be a world champion. You know,
let me say this to you, right? When you turn up at that MTK Performance Centre, right, and you're greeted by Barry the fucking Bacon, he's hardly a picture of fucking health, is he? If you're there to do a fucking training session and get fit and all this, and you're greeted by him munching on a bacon butty, you think to yourself, fucking hell, what's this here? Where's Ben? Oh, he was with so and so, other fighter, and so and so. It's bollocks. They're paying lip service to people and wheeling this cunt out because he wants to be known as a number two. He's piggybacking on him and on Ben, isn't it? Because he's never done no in his fucking career, has he? Because everybody thinks he's a fucking joke. Who the fuck would even giving him a license? The fuck out of here, man. If he can have a license, any cunt can. Fucking Jesus, man.
Do you know he said, like, we're not giving it away. It's all down to the coaching. And I find that really disrespectful.
Fucking we're coaching for Lee Wood. Yeah. Lee Wood got through that fight for his fitness and his fucking sheer fucking will. There was no game plan. Get the fuck out of here. He got dropped in round one. Game plan went out the window then. Lee Wood wouldn't have listened to anything they said for rest at fight, mate. And he didn't look like he was listening anyway. He was dazed for 5 rounds, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was concussed. And, you know, it's really disrespectful to the fighters. You know, when you say that, you know, it's making it out that all the success is down to the trainer. You know, if you have you know, Josh Taylor came to Emmons as a Ferrari of an athlete, you know, you're not going to get a much better. What's a better car, a Ferrari or a Bugatti?
Well, I don't know. A Bugatti's £1,000 for a tyre. No, 10 grand a tyre, a Bugatti.
Well,
Mickey Fio went to buy one, 10 grand a tyre.
So he came to them and
car to maintain. I don't know. If you fucking got that kind of money, who gives a fucking? I know what I'd prefer. It wouldn't be any of them. I'd have some German. I see where you're coming from. They're both good cat. Look, Josh Taylor. Yeah, he demanded him on a lap, didn't he? Shane McGuigan did all the heavy lifting, didn't
he? Yeah.
Peter Fury did all heavy lifting with Tyson Fury. Jimmy Tibbs did all heavy lifting with Billy Joe. He's had these on a lap. Ingalls did all heavy lifting with Lee Wood, didn't they?
Yeah.
He's had him gifted in. Of course, he's got his tongue up, Kinahan's arsehole. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line, mate. I don't give a fuck. Nobody dare say it. I fucking dare. He's had his tongue up Kinahan's arsehole like that. That's what he's been doing. He's put his son in right situations. He's mingled with right people. He's kissed enough arse in media to get his son out there. IFL are hanging out the back of Ben Davison's arsehole, mate. Hanging out the back of it. Not one person's put it on Ben Davison and said, Ben, come on. Taylor got beat. What are you fucking saying Taylor won for? Nobody believes he won, only Ben Davidson and them fucking judges. Nobody else thinks he won.
You know, we talk about viewership and we talk about numbers and we talk about fighters selling tickets, and that's what's hurting boxing. You know, when was the last time, like, I haven't really heard Anthony Crawler do an interview. I haven't heard Scott Quigg, Josh Pritchard, you know, mainstream, you know, trainers.
It's embarrassing. Come on. Oh, the away from a number two. If you want to hear
the casuals want to see the fighter.
You what, Ken?
The fighters want to see the fighter. You need to build. You look at Matchroom. You look at Matchroom. You know, Eddie Hearn has got a bigger, you know, popularity. He's got a bigger. He's getting more exposure than the fighters, and that hurts numbers. That hurts viewership. That hurts pay-per-view when these trainers and these promoters are actually getting more exposure than the guys that are in putting their lives on the line in the ring for the fans' entertainment.
Okay.
That's why the numbers are going down.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on from Lee Wood Conlon. I wish Conlon all the best. I hope he's all right. Do I want to see it again? Yeah. Would I pay pay-per-view to see it again? Yeah, I would. I think they deserve pay-per-view, don't they?
Definitely.
The current climate with all the shite that's pay-per-view, that's definitely a pay-per-view rematch. Right.
Absolutely.
From that, Terry Harper. They put her in with Scolding Lady, didn't they? Who basically there to lose, didn't they? Basically.
And what's going to happen is they're going to do that for the next 10 months. All the belts in that division are occupied, bar the IBO title. So I think they'll go down that route, and I think she will fight Serrano Taylor winner, but that's going to be a year away. So I think she's going to have a couple of two. The only way that Terry Harper and Taylor draw after this fight is each other. There's no other real fight out there for them to draw. I don't see Eddie Hearn putting Boom Gardner in with Taylor or Terry Harper again. So I think you're going to have that type of level of opposition for the next year or so with her.
Okay, then look at it like this. Terry Harper won, well done. Why didn't we see her trainer do an interview? Super Ray Doyle, Superman. Super duper Ray Doyle. We don't see Ray Doyle paraded out, but we see Steffi Bull paraded out as the trainer. Steffi Bull's not even the trainer, it's Ray Doyle. It's Terry Harper's trainer, not Steffi Bull. But we see Steffi Bull wheeled out because they all want the moment in the fucking limelight, don't they? Right, I want to hear from the fucking fighters. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear from fucking number twos or pretend trainers. Now, if you get on TV, all the all talking. Listen, get the fuck out of the fucking frame. I want to hear from the fighters. I want to see fighters see what they've got to fucking say. Fair enough, if fighters are fucking dummies, so what? Let's let them blossom on TV so they're not a dummy. Do you know what I mean? I want to hear from the fighters.
Yeah. I think Terry comes across really well when she gets a chance to do it.
When she gets a chance to fucking speak.
You know, I think Terry Russell is a fantastic role model for any young female kid coming through. Yeah. But every time she's there, like even last week, there was a spot where they were talking about the last fight and Steffi was there. They were having coffee. And I'm thinking, Steffi, I don't want to hear from you. I want to actually hear from the fighter. And even when she's in the gym training, it's always Steffi hitting pads. You know, there's nobody else allowed to hit the pads.
Ray Doyle's the trainer, Super Ray Doyle.
Unbelievable. It's shocking. And even after the fight, when she won the fight and they presented her with that international belt, I think there was a coach, an assistant in the background, and it was only Steffi and her in the middle of the ring getting her photo taken.
Let's hear from Ray Doyle. We want to hear from Super Ray Doyle, Superman.
You know
Okay,
it.
what else happened? Oh, the Sandy Ryan. I don't rate her much, mate. She didn't have a good day at the office, did she? But they put her in with an experienced girl, didn't they?
Well, they put her in with someone who lost to Meyer, McCaskill, Brackhas. I actually watched the fight with Pursoon. She ran Dolphin Pursoon really, really close. I actually thought Pursoon beat Taylor twice.
Oh, yeah.
That was a very, very experienced fighter. And another thing as well, when you have to factor in, Russell, when you're bringing a South American fighter over, that they're at altitude, they're at altitude, so they're so much more conditioned and fit than our fighters. I didn't think Sandy actually listened to a word Clifton said in any of the rounds.
Yeah, there wasn't really much else happened really on that show, was there really?
There was Gary Cully against Vasquez.
Carty won, didn't he, as well?
Yes, I didn't watch that. I just watched from Sandy Ryan right through to the very end. So I did.
Okay then. What would you give the show out of 10?
Sorry. I have forgotten Kevin Ajarko, middleweight kid.
Okay then. Like, what would you give the show out of 10, Ken?
I thought the undercard was poor. I'm not saying the fighters were poor. There was good fighters on the undercard. I just thought the fights weren't great. Ajarko, Tony Bellew destroyed him at the end. Tony Bellew's on destroying Kevin Ajarko, that he's missing British, Commonwealth and European, and he doesn't like to see that. But it's okay for Conor Ben to talk everybody domestically.
Tony always puts his foot on it, doesn't he? Tony, you are the fucking prick that keeps giving, you prick. Can't help him.
To be honest, Russell, Kevin's actually fought two really good international oppositions, South American. He fought Larios that last fight, and he fought at the weekend there. And I think they were both. One of them was an unbeaten fighter. One was 18-0. That's really good international experience. It's not Kevin's fault that he couldn't get domestic fights because he's such a dangerous fighter. It's Tony all over. Thanks, Tony. You had good fighters on the bill, but I think, Russell, if you hadn't had that fight between Wood and Conlon, it wouldn't have been a good bill whatsoever. I would give it 7 out of 10.
But the Wood Conlon were a 10 out of 10, wasn't it?
10 out of 10. Wood Conlon got the card as a whole a 7 out of 10. It was just a magnificent
And
fight.
he got out of jail again, didn't he, the slippery bastard?
Yeah, he did. It was, he got out of jail again. And to be honest with you, Conlon wasn't even an Eddie Hearn fighter. It wasn't one of his own fighters. Eddie, Michael Conlon's been working with Top Rank and Frank at Queensbury. So it wasn't really, wasn't like it was one of Eddie's stable. So it wasn't.
Okay, then moving on from that fucking shower of shite. Joe Joyce, AJ, is it going to happen?
I seen a video on YouTube from a guy who provides content to DAZN, and like at the weekend, even he was actually asking questions to fighters and answering it for them at the same time. My word. But that's a different story.
Like
what I used to do.
Yeah, go on.
But I'm more experienced now, a more journeyman level now, Russell. Yeah, he made a comment that I see AJ by brutal KO.
Yeah.
How could you call that? How could you even say that? Yes, Anthony Joshua stopped Joe Joyce twice in the amateurs. Joe was a young kid starting off. AJ had 3 years on him. He was an absolute novice. He was actually not even in the England development squad at the time. So going off that, you can't really. I don't think Russell, do you really think that they'll actually take that gamble on Joe Joyce as an interim fight?
No, I don't, because I know somebody that stood and watched Joe Joyce spar Joshua before he went to Olympics. You know, Joyce, when he got his silver. I know somebody that watched the spars leading up to that, and from what I've heard, Anthony Joshua were getting flogged. He might not have been earlier on, a few years previous to that, but Joyce made up the ground on him up to then, and I've heard it were one-sided. So we'll see, won't we? But I think that Joyce stops him late on. I do honestly. I think it's a good fight. Is it a pay-per-view fight? Yeah. Anthony Joshua can't fight a cream puff if you don't fight Usyk next. If he's pay-per-view next, he's got to be in with a Joe Joyce type. Got to be, hasn't it? Come on, Wilder, Joyce, somebody like that.
Yeah, we what we have got now is we have got White and Fury. If it happens, they're trying to build that fight. You know, BT are trying to build it, Queensmere are trying to build it. But now, I noticed last week that Eddie Hearn's trying to take traction away from that, and he's threw Deontay Wilder into the mix. Deontay Wilder, nobody knows where. Deontay Wilder, you know, he has been calling out. You know, he wants Deontay Wilder to fight AJ next. But 4 years ago, when they had him over in Sky and put him up at a 5-star hotel, they couldn't do it then.
5 years ago, Kent.
Sorry, correct.
5 years next month, April it was, 2017.
Yeah.
5 years ago they were talking Wilder. Wilder's definitely next, Eddie said.
And now that, you know, he's coming off 2 back-to-back losses to Fury, he got stopped in the last 2 of them. We don't even know if he's announced that he's going to fight again, and that's who he wants next. Then they started talking about Joe Joyce. So it's just matchroom spinning, matchroom propaganda. It's they'll do anything to take the momentum away from Fury White.
They might even have talks, and they'll go for somebody like Otto fucking Wallin, A. Wally. There's somebody, who the fuck wants to see Otto Wallin, AJ? After all this Roadman Killer talk, and Big Meech and all this shite, they're going to fucking fight Otto Wallin. Get the fuck out of here, or Charlie Martin. The rematch, because first one were a dodgy stoppage. Get the fuck out of here. Got to fight somebody.
You know, you could see that, you know, I don't actually think PBC would do them a favor and let a PBC fighter come over and help them out with a win. You know, I can't see Al Haymon letting a PBC fighter go over and job for AJ. I can't see it, Russell. There's no chance.
Yeah. Exciting times ahead.
But really, Russell, you know, why would you want to watch Otto Wallin, especially after that last fight? I thought he got beat by Kamal Slabolowski. I thought he was beat by him convincingly.
Slide him, innit? Wallin's on slide. They're trying to sell it, saying that he should have got the decision against Fury, and they should have done. We should have started the fight without cut, shouldn't they?
Yeah. What do you see, Russell? The way the heavyweight landscape's going to go now with Usyk and
stinky fucking stinkinators, a lot of them, shithouses, a lot of them off with their heads, shithouses, shitting on fans. It's stalemate. If Dylan White and Fury don't happen next month, and Bricktop slips a substitute in, does that make it right? Because I think that's what'll happen. Now, if I'm wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, fair dues, but is that all we've got to look forward to? Dylan White, who's fucking one of British, that's it, and Fury, who really CVs. There's more holes in Fury's CV than fucking Biggie Smalls' Cadillac Escalade, isn't there? Oh, there is, isn't there? Who's Fury fucking beat? Vladimir, an old man, and Wilder. Is that it? Fucking do me a fucking favour. Fucking go. The fuck out.
I get frustrated, Russell. See when people say these things like Wilder, the biggest puncher in heavyweight history and all. I hate all that nonsense. You know, I I would even put George Foreman up as a more
Clifton Mitchell were a
devastating puncher.
massive freakish puncher, and he fought for a European title, I believe. Clifton Mitchell were a massive puncher. But nobody mentions that, do they? All heavyweights can punch. Some can punch harder than others, but Wilder's, we're in a poor era, and Fury. It's a dog shit era. We're in an era where fighters, heavyweights, they're not fighters, they're fucking businessmen. They're all swerving each other. It's a fucking joke, mate. It's a fucking shit feast.
I think now the fighters are getting too much control. The management are getting too much control of the fighters, where before the networks demanded the fights.
We've got that stupid Sam Jones coming out now with begging for fucking a fight for Joe Joyce. He's had fucking 6 years to do that. Where were you a few years ago with that fucking same energy, Sam Jones, you little prick? Where were you then with fucking energy for a Joe Joyce fight? You were doing fuck all. You were too busy. You had one like that and then like that, and you were tossing them both up into your mouth. That's what you were doing, Sam Jones. You couldn't fucking make a decision for yourself without having to keep Frank happy or Eddie happy. You fucking tosser.
You know that there's really good, and what's happening now is there's actually some really decent heavyweights coming through underneath that. You know, you've got the likes of Jared Anderson, you've got Makhmudov, the massive Russian heavyweight, Hergovic. I don't rate Hergovic, Russell. I really don't.
Because he's not beat nobody. Michael Conlon had beat no fucker. He's up until he got him with Wood, had he? And he still hasn't beat nobody, has he, Conlon? Who's Conlon's best 3 wins? You can't reel them off, Kent, and you're Irish.
There was the
businessman, mate. They're not fucking fighting nobody. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking bullshit, mate. Billy Joe had not beat nobody till he got him with Canelo, and he still didn't beat Canelo, did he? Really? The eras of Carl Frochers and Clinton Woods are fucking gone, mate.
You know, you look back and you look at how promoters and how networks worked, and I was thinking about this the other day, and I know Don King gets a lot of stick, but remember the middleweight tournament? You know, that was a fantastic tournament. That you had Felix Trinidad, Bernard Hopkins, Keith Holmes, William Joppy. That was an absolute. There has to be another one there.
McCracken fought him, Keith Holmes.
Keith Holmes was a brilliant fighter. Keith Holmes beat Richie Woodall. Am I mistaken?
Well, I think he beat. That could backhand Richie fucking.
but you look at that tournament. That was a star-studded tournament of elite level fighters.
They're looking to do a tournament, a heavyweight tournament.
You know, they need to. You know, if you're doing a tournament, it needs to be structured in a way where it's for a British, a Commonwealth, European. It has to be quality fighters. Now, that tournament was probably one of the best tournament style, you know, tournaments you've seen. It was the best fighters in the world. Ultimately, Hopkins won it. I beat Trinidad in the final. And then what they did was that there was this showdown between the 4 belt holders, and De La Hoya fought Felix Sturm, got a gift of a decision and won the WBO. Then Hopkins and Oscar De La Hoya fought. So that was the first 4 belt era champion. Why that was 15 years ago? Why can that not happen now?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. It's fucking bullshit, isn't it? Should we give a big shout out to Max?
Breadcrumb. The heart of a breadcrumb.
Happy birthday to Max.
Here.
Birthday to...
Is it Max's birthday today?
Happy birthday, dear Breadcrumb. Happy 34th birthday to Big Max.
Well, Russell, it's actually my birthday today as well.
Yeah, I've got a photograph of Max's fucking shoes that he had on at weekend. Fucking Jesus, mate.
Winkle pickers.
Fucking hellfire. I couldn't believe it, mate. Max, I don't know why that bird's moved in with you with fucking shoe tail like that, man. But fucking.
Were they like hooves? Did he have shoes like hooves?
Fucking look like clogs. Fucking hell. Oh, fucking hell, Max. Max, somebody took a picture of your shoes at that fucking show while you were hobnobbing with Dean White, you fucking snake.
Selfies with Dean Wade. I hope not, Russell.
You know, high-fiving with that fucking Dean White, fucking Wesley Snipes. You fucking
saving the show again.
Max signing for Black Box Management. The fuck out of here, Max, with your clogs. That's about it then, Kent, really. I hope you're well. How are you doing anyway, Kent? Are you all right? Have you got a bird yet?
I'm just too busy, Russell. There's not enough hours in the day for me, Russell.
How wank
So there's not.
Is it, Kent?
Ooh,
Hey.
not enough hours in the day. Just
signals coming out of Belfast.
Too busy.
Tonight's film, White Lightning, Burt Reynolds, old school. I've got an old school.
Bert, is that one you've ordered?
No, I've actually seen it. I've had it a while, like, but I haven't seen it since I got it about 10 years ago when I lived in Oakley. I thought I'm gonna watch that again tonight. I like film. He gets out of prison, doesn't he, and goes and fucking rips shit up. I like stuff like that.
Well, I'll give you a bit of useless information here. Rocky, the original Rocky, was meant to be Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, I know all about it, Ken. Yeah, that's true. That Ryan O'Neal, James Caan,
Yep.
Burt Reynolds were in front line before Sylvester Stallone, weren't they?
Yeah, Ryan O'Neal was in a really good film called Driver. Really good film.
I've got that here, Driver, 1978 Driver. There's a new one with Ryan Gosling. He plays him in remake.
It's a good film. Really good film.
Yeah, I like that one. The Ryan O'Neal one, Driver. Yeah, it's a good film. That, but I've got that here. But like I said, it's White Lightning tonight, kid.
Well, as long as it's not White Lightning out of the bottle.
No. Well, that's fucking cider, isn't it?
Blow the head of you.
Well, that's what it's about, bootlegging and all that kind of fucking carry on.
I didn't actually know that film.
Moonshine, is it?
Moonshine, yeah. Moonshine's like cider, like really strong, homemade apple moonshine. I'm not having any of that, Russell. No chance.
You don't drink, do you, Ken?
No, don't drink.
You'll either drink into serious fucking power drinkers like me.
No, I can't drink. If I even drink a non-alcoholic beer, I feel sick the next day. So I don't even bother. Nah, no chance.
Your body's a temple, innit, Ken?
Yeah, I just don't like. I don't like the taste of it. I've been out and I've been drunk, at times, but I just hate that aftermath of being sick for days and days and days.
When you were drunk, you picked shit up, Ken, in Belfast.
Not me. No, I try and stay away. I would have went out with my mates in the boxing club and all, and they would have been drinking, and I was always driving, so I was always the designated driver at the end of the night. But I don't like it. Don't like the taste of it.
Yeah, you're like Max. He's my driver. Max took me to a 60th birthday party a couple of weeks ago, all the way out to Crowell. Is it Crowell? Epworth. Reindeer in at Epworth. Gets there, stops an hour. Max says, I'm going home. Because what are you fucking on about? I thought you were taking me home. Now I'm going home. Fucked off. Only had a Diet Coke. Fucked off. Left me the 80 quid to get home.
Oh, do you know what?
I could have wrung his fucking neck.
He should have just sneaked it out on you. That would have been even better. He told you. Fair play to him. He told you. If it was me, Russell, I'd have just sneaked out. I'd have been away. I wouldn't even see me. But yeah, I seen a video the other day and I was laughing. And you're like, he's dropped off at the filling station, and Max was in doing the sausage rolls in the film station. Like
he got out. He came out. Got in car. So what you got there? He goes, not cat flapjacks. 2 giant flap jacks. What you got them for? He goes, I don't all day. I goes, the fucking cakes in syrup. Oh, it's oats, isn't it? I goes, just because it's fucking oats, Max.
For the sugar.
Fucking 2 big giants, a little bigger than his fucking paws. Anyway, Wolf went down. He says, I'm peckish if I'd know all day. I've been training on empty stomach. I was going then, Max. But he's a lovable lummox, isn't he, Max?
I like Max. I think Max is. I like him. He's evolved into the channel well. he's done well.
Playing them off each other in a DAZN. He took them DAZN tickets, didn't he? VIP, him and his missus.
He got VIP tickets.
Max turned up with his viewer at Nottingham and his clogs. Yeah, they were all
Not having that.
Hotel in Nottingham, a lot strutting around, high-fiving people. He only had one
I'm not having that.
He's only had one fight against the barman.
You tell Max.
That Sky had rung him other day, offered him $9.5 grand. Max knocked him back. So tell
Max.
Tell me what 25.
I'm beefing him.
Hey?
You tell Max I have beef with him now because no one's offered me free tickets to any shows anywhere ever.
I wouldn't have fucking gone anyway. Fucking DAZN tickets. They're fucking match them. They're fuck out of here. I'd have fucking set fire to them. But no, Max turned up. Max turned up with his wench. Him and his bird strutting around. Nottingham.
You think about it, Russell. You look at Max's Instagram. He's probably got a higher profile and have more followers than Fraser Clark, and he's an Olympic bronze medalist.
Yeah, I know. Max don't mess about, does he? He's a boat. Max is a boat race. He's a face, isn't he? On boxing.
He's a good social media platform there, so he's going to get exposure. It's good for him. He's working them well. He's working the system well, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He'll be here tomorrow to terrorise me. Trading with Julian, isn't he? Every other day now. He comes down and just fucking, it's a rate drive, isn't it? All the way from Scarborough to Dewsbury. Okay,
he wants to get better. He needs to do it. You know, there's no other option. You know, if he wants to get better and he wants to do some technical work and work on some things, he's, you know, the clock's ticking for him. You know, he hasn't had that, you know, pedigree as an amateur career, so he needs to do it. So
Max, I know you're watching. Max, I know you're watching. You need to get some of that big belly off. You look like Billy Bunter. Get some of that. I don't want to see you going at ring with that belly hanging out. Big old Derby on you, Max. That's no good, mate. You need to look like me, nice and slim, 32 waist kid. But now I wish Max all the best. Okie dokie then, Kent, lad. We'll get this out tonight.
Super, Russell.
All right, well, listen, you take care. Have a great evening, Kent.
Okay, Russell.
Hardcore.
The hardcore's hardcore. That's it. Right. You know.
Well, that were old Kent, aka Long Neck. Got a great neck on him, hasn't he, Ken? Imagine shaving that cunt at night. You'd be fucking like that, wouldn't you? You need loads of razors. Could get you sponsored by Gillette, Ken. That's about it. I put my take on what I think about the latest proceedings. I don't give a fuck if anybody's offended. I'm not here to fucking pussyfoot around fucking people in boxing industry with their egos and insecurities. Get the fuck out of here. Start fucking talking sense. All right. By the time I start putting on a few as well and rolling up at the fucking houses. That's what it fucking needs. Me banging on the fucking door with Max in tow with his fucking clogs and his flapjacks. Go on, peace out.